the child, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. The righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked...
Listen, the princess should not have been permitted to learn that.
It's in the Bible, madam.
There are things in the Bible as well as out of it which are not seemly on the lips of a young girl. I hope you do not allow the princess to read all the Bible.
There are parts of it I do not read myself, madam.
Very proper of you, I'm sure. Victoria, continue reciting your scripture.
Proverbs 14,
And sit straight, Victoria.
I was sitting straight, Mamma.
Never answer your mother, my dear.
Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish...
Victoria, the dear king is worse, much worse.
Oh, Mamma. Oh, Mamma. Oh, I never thought it would happen so soon.
Now, my dear, there's nothing to be upset about.
I'm too young to be queen.
Yesterday, it seems, everyone had given up hope. Now he has given it up himself.
Is he conscious, Mamma?
No, not conscious. He has given that up, too. Perhaps it is just as well. Considering his age, the king must have a remarkably strong constitution. I fear he did not lead a good life.
But he was married, Mamma.
All married people do not lead a good life. Not all.
Oh, I thought they did.
Victoria, you shock me. Who has been talking to you?
Talking to me?
Yes, about marriage and things of that sort.
No one. Oh, only Cousin George. The other day he asked me to marry him. He said it would make him good.
Your cousin George?
Yes. He said that all my uncles wished it and that the king wished it too, so that was why he asked me.
I dare say they do. But you are not going to marry your cousin George. He is not going to be king.
No, Mamma. Not if I'm to be queen.
Oh, my darling child. Oh, if you knew the dangers from which I have protected you. That will do, Lenson. You may go. Now, my child, listen to me. It is time that you knew. Ever since you were born, I have been fighting a battle to save you from the hands of wicked men.
Oh, Mamma.
Yes, they wanted to get hold of you, but I would not let them. They wanted to choose a husband for you, your cousin George, to make him king instead of you. But I knew what they were after. I saved you from that. That is why I never let you out of my sight, except sometimes at Windsor when it could not be helped. That is when your cousin George spoke to you, I suppose. What did you say to him?
Of course, I said he must first ask Mamma.
Ah, my darling child.
And that did not seem to please him.
No, I dare say not. Now that you have seen from what I have saved you, all I ask is that you remember and be a little grateful. Trust Mama. Come to Mama about everything. Mama will always be with you. Now, my dear, it is time for you to retire. I must go and see about my black dress. To be ready in case anything should happen.
Oh, Mamma, I will be good. I will be good.
Indeed, I hope so. For that, a great deal depends on both of us. And now, my dear, you must remember to pray for the dear king tonight.
Yes, Mamma.
That his precious life may be spared.
Yes, Mamma.
Yes, my lord.
His Grace the Archbishop of Canterbury and Lord Melbourne are here to see Her Royal Highness the Princess on important business.
Yes, my lord, but Her Royal Highness isn't up yet.
Up? Of course she's not up at this hour. Call her. Hurry, ma'am, hurry.
Yes, my lord, but I dare not go up to Her Royal Highness the Princess Victoria's room, my lord. Not now. She sleeps in the same room with Her Royal Highness the Duchess.
Well, go and do the best you can.
Yes.
But say that Her Royal Highness must come at once.
Yes, my lord.
Good Lord, what a house. Sleeps with the old cat, does she?
I beg your pardon.
Oh, yes. I suppose one oughtn't to say that now, but Your Grace knows the Duchess has been a difficulty all along. She'll regard this as her own succession, almost.
It almost will be. Oh, the Duchess is a person of determined character, but it has had its advantages. The Princess has not seen a great deal of her uncles, not one of whom is what he should be.
I know.
Ah, but women are different. Let us hope.
Well, we must get her married, and married to the right man. Her cousin, Prince George of Cambridge, would be very suitable.
Over that you will have difficulty with the Duchess. She has privately planned a marriage more to her own liking, I'm told.
Oh? Who?
She has two nephews, through her brother, the Duke of Saxe-Coburg, Prince Ernest and Prince Albert.
No, but that won't do. Tainted blood.
Indeed.
Hemophilia, you know, it's in the family.
No, I didn't know.
My Lord Melbourne, Your Grace, you have news for us?
For Her Royal Highness the Princess, we have news, madam.
Ah, the king, then,
Is dead.
and my daughter.
Is queen.
It has come at last. I am the Queen Mother.
No, madam, Your Royal Highness is not Queen Mother.
Not?
Your Royal Highness is the Queen's mother. That is the distinction. Your presence at the interview, madam, will not be required unless Her Majesty should send for you.
This is not to be borne.
Madam, this is a very historic occasion. Etiquette and immemorial tradition prescribe certain rules which have to be observed. Your Royal Highness would not wish to break them.
Your Grace, Her Majesty is coming.
Then, madam, for a moment only.
My daughter is queen.
Mama?
My child, my own darling child, you are queen at last.
But really, Queen, now, before I've been crowned?
Yes, now. The king is dead. You are the queen.
Then my reign has already begun? I can do as I like?
As you like. Do not heed what anybody says. If you want to do it, do it.
Oh, then, Mama, there is something I would like.
Name it, it shall be done.
How strange that it should have all come so suddenly.
Yes, after we have waited for so long. Now, my child, you must not stay here to catch cold. Come now to your own mother's bed.
No, Mama, dear. As I may now do as I like, I wish in future to have a bed and a room of my own.
Of your own?
Yes, please, Mama.
So, you have been waiting for this.
I should be glad if you don't mind. Now that I am my own mistress. Yes. I would rather be alone.
This program.
So, what to do first?
Well, let me see. First, ma'am, I rise. Over that I needn't go into detail.
No?
Or would you like me to, ma'am?
Oh, no. No. You rise.
I rise from my bed. Then I ride in the park. And when I come home, I write. So you see, ma'am, I begin with the 3 R's.
But right begins with a W.
I am corrected. Right does begin with a W. Your Majesty is right, as usual.
Oh, Lord Melbourne, you are witty. You always say something amusing. Please go on.
Madam, with Your Majesty's permission, may I now leave pleasantries for a moment and come to the affairs of state? One especially, which Your Majesty graciously deigned to mention the other day, with a courage I thought remarkable in one so young. Some day we must marry. Has Your Majesty given that any further thought?
Oh, yes. I have thought of it a great deal, Lord Melbourne. I have not thought of any person in particular. I mean, I've made no decision.
I am relieved to hear it, ma'am.
Of course, there are certain things as to which I am quite resolved. My marriage, Lord Melbourne, must be a marriage of affection. My husband must be someone whose character I can respect, one whom I can love and look up to.
Look up to, ma'am?
Yes. It may sound strange to you, Lord Melbourne, but I must have as my husband one whom I can eventually look up to when I have trained him for the position he will have to occupy.
Oh, quite so, quite so. I trust that such a person will be found. And as Your Majesty has owned to an open mind on the subject, I have here with me a list of possibles.
Oh, Lord Melbourne, how interesting. How many?
Only 5, ma'am, so far, but more are coming.
You have already found 5? Well, Lord Melbourne, how clever of you. I would like to see your list.
If Your Majesty will pardon me for a moment. The conditions for a suitable consort to Your Majesty's throne are necessarily special and particular.
Go on, I'm quite interested.
He must understand the English language and their manners, customs, and prejudices. And the last is the most difficult of all, since the English have a prejudice against foreigners.
Do you dislike foreigners, Lord Melbourne?
Oh, no, ma'am. No, of course not. Though sometimes, for political reasons, one has to pretend to.
Well, and what more?
He must not expect to interfere in politics.
Oh, indeed, no, I should never allow it.
And finally, ma'am, he must have health and a sound constitution. That is, he must come of good stock.
Good stock? I thought that meant cattle.
So it does, ma'am, in certain connections, but it also means what comes from father to son. In certain royal lines, the sins and the virtues have been mixed, and one has to be careful that they shall not be more mixed. For that reason, the marriage of royal cousins is generally inadvisable.
Oh?
I say generally. In a certain branch of Your Majesty's family connections, it is unhappily true in a rather special degree. And for that reason, and acting under medical advice, I have not included 2 of Your Majesty's cousins who might otherwise have been desirable candidates. Their Serene Highnesses, Prince Ernest and Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha.
But they both look quite strong and healthy when I last saw them 2 years ago.
Apparently, ma'am, but appearances are so often deceptive.
But Prince George is my cousin, too.
But by another branch, Your Majesty. There is not there the same objection.
But I couldn't marry my cousin George. He's so...
Nobody wishes to decide Your Majesty's choice. There are others.
But I don't know them.
That is easily remedied, ma'am. You ask each of them to your court in turn, saying nothing. You let them go away again, saying nothing. Or you do say something.
But you haven't yet shown me any portraits. I'm not going to send for anyone if I don't like the look of them.
Portraits are so often misleading, ma'am. Court painters, like prime ministers, know their duty and only do what is expected of them.
Here is a portrait that was sent to Mamma the other day of my cousin, Prince Albert.
Oh.
Surely he must have grown very handsome. It would not be possible for a court painter to imagine anyone like that.
One never knows, ma'am. One never knows. Imagination sometimes goes a long way. Am I to make a collection of portraits for Your Majesty?
Oh, Oh, no, Lord Melbourne. I wasn't speaking seriously when I said that.
No, ma'am, neither was I.
Will you keep the list, or shall I?
By your leave, ma'am, let what I have said be either remembered or forgotten. The choice must be your own. But I do ask Your Majesty to think seriously. The future welfare of this country is now in this little hand.
Indeed, Lord Melbourne, I pay great attention to everything that you say, and I shall continue to take your advice whenever I find it possible.
Thank you, ma'am.
Goodbye. Albert. 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 Will you marry me?
Well, Albert?
Jawohl, mein Bruder.
Oh, we must speak English.
Warum?
Oh, practice. One of us will have to always.
Yes, I suppose so.
Which of us do you suppose it is going to be?
That is not for me to say.
It's rather beautiful, don't you think?
Beautiful, yes, but it means exile to live in it.
But then, to be almost a king?
No. The English people will never allow a foreigner to be king or anything like one. Here, you or I will only be a puppet kept to breed by. If it is you, are you going to resign yourself to that, willingly?
If it is to be me, you say? Albert, it must be me. Papa wishes it shall be me.
Then why did he make me come?
She has to choose, she has to choose. But she has to choose me.
Why?
It is Papa's wish.
Why did he not tell me so?
Albert, you know Papa. The explanation would have been rather difficult.
That he did not choose to explain his wishes removes the difficulty so far as it concerns me.
My dear Albert, you are very dear to me, but you know the reason. You are my brother, and though you are not the son of my father, you must obey him.
Had he wished for my obedience, he should have told me, not you.
What then do you mean to do, Albert?
If she asks me, I shall accept.
Then she shall not ask you. I must see that my father's wishes are obeyed. I shall have you sent home. I shall send word to Papa today.
What if I refuse to go?
My dear Albert, we are not English, we are German. If the Duke, my father, your sovereign prince, sends for you to return, you will return. You know that perfectly well. I'm not taking away from your happiness, Albert. You will be happier than I.
Happiness is not everything.
Almost.
Live for it and you lose it. To be happy has never been my thought about life. I have not aimed for that.
No, what then?
To do something that shall be worth doing.
Ah, so you have ambition.
Oh, what are you two looking so serious about?
Only the rain.
Oh, but it will clear presently. And then we shall go for a ride in the park.
That will be very nice, to be sure.
I hope you're going to enjoy your stay, cousin.
Oh, very much. I shall find it most delightful.
And you too, Albert.
You're a very kind cousin. How could I help enjoying myself while I am with you?
Albert, that is the first pretty speech you have ever made me.
I'm sorry, cousin.
Oh, but I like it.
I mean that it should be only the first.
Well, so long as it's not the last, I don't mind. Cousin Ernest, have you practiced your music yet? I was told at home you practice every day.
But here one cannot find the time.
Go and do it now, and there will be time.
I tried one of the pianos the day we arrived, cousin. It was not in very good tune.
But that doesn't matter. You will be alone. No one will hear you.
Albert and I practiced together.
Duets, you mean? But if the piano is out of tune, duets would be dreadful. Go and practice by yourself, Ernest, and Albert shall practice by himself another time.
Is it a command, cousin?
My dear Ernest, I wouldn't think of commanding you, but I do want you to be at home here, and as you always practice at home, I want you to practice here and now. We shall not start our ride for an hour. That gives you just time. So do go now.
Very well, cousin. Albert, remember.
How strangely Ernest spoke to you then. Is anything the matter?
Oh, no, nothing serious.
You haven't been quarreling, I hope.
We never quarrel.
I think it would be very hard to quarrel with you, Albert. I couldn't.
Please, do not ever try.
Some people are able to quarrel without trying.
Yes?
I suppose they like it.
Yes, I suppose so.
Won't you sit down, Albert? Why don't you sit nearer? Talking then is so much easier.
You are very kind, cousin, ever since we came. To both of us, I mean.
I'm very fond of Ernest.
Yes, so am I.
All my life I've been so alone, except, of course, with Mama. I don't know what it can be like to have a brother.
One gets very fond of a brother.
Yes. But one can get fonder of someone else, can one not?
It happens sometimes.
What is it, Albert?
I was just listening to Ernest practicing. One can just hear him. It is Beethoven.
Don't listen to Ernest. You must listen to me.
Oh, I beg your pardon, cousin. I was listening. Please do not think I was inattentive.
Albert, I have something to say to you.
Yes?
In my position, it is I who have to say it, unfortunately. Ordinarily, it is not what a woman would wish to say herself. She would rather he said it.
Is there something you wish me to say that I can't say?
To hear you say you can love me is all I can hope. Yet, if you could say that you already do love me, that would be almost like heaven.
I do love you, cousin.
Enough to marry me.
Oh, more than enough to marry you, for people in our position very often marry without any love at all.
I couldn't do that, Albert.
Nor could I, Victoria.
Then you will marry me?
If it is still your wish when you know me, I will very gratefully and humbly accept this dear hand which you offer me.
When I know you?
Yes, for I too have something to say. My brother Ernst and I had the same mother, but not the same father.
I don't understand.
I am sorry that you should have to. Our mother and father, who was only Ernst's father, separated after I was born. They did not love each other. My mother loved someone else.
While she was married?
Yes.
Before you were born or after?
Before.
Who?
I do not know. Perhaps I shall never learn. I had to tell you this.
It makes no difference to me. And besides, who knows?
Ernst knows, and his father?
But his father sent you here, let you come.
Yes, but he hoped it would be Ernst you would choose.
How could it possibly be Ernest after I'd seen you? Oh, Albert. Albert, what does it matter? It is not your father that I shall marry. It is you.
My very dear cousin. My sweet wife that is to be.
Aren't you going to kiss me?
If I may.
Again, please. Again.
I pray to God you do not ever have to repent of this.
Repent? How could I ever repent? It is not in my nature, Albert. And now, I think it is quite time we went for our ride. Poor Ernest. We must both try to be very nice and kind to him. I liked Ernest very much from the first.
Was that why you sent him to practice? He knew.
ask Prince Ernest to return. He knew that this was going to happen, Albert.
Oh, no, he did not know that.
Well, what then?
He knew that you were going to ask me.
Well, then what else could he suppose would happen?
He expected me to say no.
But you couldn't say no to a queen. Could you, Albert?
No, no, my dear, one could not say no to a queen.
But did you want to?
No, no, dearest, for...
Ernest, are you ready to come riding?
Quite, if you are, cousin.
Yes. Everything has been settled. Tell him, Albert.
Ernst, you told me to remember. I forgot. Dearest, if you wish to.
What are you doing?
Shaving?
Oh, but how exciting! May I stay and watch you?
If it would interest you, Vicky.
Oh, but of course. To see you shaving is wonderful. Something I never thought of.
Oh? Did you think one did not have to shave at all?
I never thought about it till now. You see, Albert, I've never seen a man shave himself before.
No, I suppose not.
How often do you have to do it? Once a week?
Every day.
Every day? But how absurd. It can't grow as fast as all that.
Oh, yes, it does.
How very troublesome. I only cut my nails once a week.
Nails can wait longer. Beards won't.
I wouldn't like you to have a beard, Albert.
Nor would I. That is why I'm shaving it off now.
How strange it looks. How interesting. Fascinating. Is it dangerous?
Not if you don't talk to me.
Oh.
Not just while I am stroking myself.
Stroking yourself? Albert, you are funny.
Is that not the right word? Should I have said wiping myself or what?
Really, Albert, I'm not sure. It's a part of the English language which, from not having to know, I've not been taught.
Ah, Vicky, it is nice to hear you say that. Then you two do not know the English language quite like a native. For that, if it were not for the soup, I would kiss you.
The soup?
This, I mean.
Oh, not soup, Albert, dearest. Soap.
Oh, soap, then.
But I don't mind the soap, Albert. Your soap, if you would like to.
Very well, then. I will.
Let me see what you do it with.
Yeah.
Oh, how sharp it is.
Yes, it does have to be sharp.
Does it hurt?
No.
Do you ever cut yourself?
Not when I am alone. Once I had a valet who used to shave me before I knew how for myself. One day he cut me rather badly.
Oh.
The court physician came running in a terrible fright. He thought to find me bleeding to death.
To death? Why?
Well, because my brother Ernest once so nearly did, and his father. But that did not happen to me. I'm not that way, you see. What I told you makes a difference.
Oh, Albert, then that difference has perhaps saved your life.
Possibly.
Albert, suppose you had died before we got married. Have married anyone else?
Of course, dearest. You had to marry someone. You could not disappoint your people by not giving them an heir to the throne.
Albert, shall I? Will that really happen?
We will hope so, dearest, in time.
I hope it will be very soon. Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it? We really are married now, aren't we?
I think so, Weibchen. Shall I be able to make you happy, always? You are happy?
Oh, so happy. And to think that this will go on and on for years and years. It's like heaven.
Well, not just like this. That is not human nature.
But I shall never love you less than I do now, Albert.
Perhaps not, but you will not come, I think, to see me shave every day for the next 20 years.
Why not?
You will have too much else to do.
That's my royal band. I gave orders for it to be here this morning. I thought you would like it. Oh, Aylmer, darling. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of having got you.
And now, Vicky, I want my breakfast. Please to go and get yourself ready. Quick. I'm going to ring for my dresser to come.
Order me to go, Albert. Order me.
Go, woman. I order you to go. Is she quite healthy?
Just listen to her. Her Royal Highness the Princess has got a will of her own already. Like her mother, I say. And a nice handful she was.
Lady, would it be asking too much? Will you allow me to see Her Majesty for a moment? Only a moment.
Very well, Your Royal Highness. But only for a moment, please.
Right. Liebes kleines Frau. Wie geht's?
Albert, have I disappointed you?
Disappointed me, but how?
That it wasn't a boy.
You wished it to be a boy?
Oh, Albert, of course. How could one have wished anything else? The heir to the throne must be a boy, if possible.
Oh. Well, Vicky, there's plenty of time. You may yet be a mother of 12.
Oh, no, Albert. I don't want to have 12.
Oh.
Not quite. You see, it would be such an interruption of my being queen.
Oh, yes, I suppose so.
2 or 3 will be quite enough, I think. Perhaps I wouldn't mind having 4 in time. So you really don't mind? You are good to me. I was so afraid I hadn't quite done my duty.
Well, if it is anyone's fault, it is my fault, too.
Oh, no, Albert, no. The father has nothing to do with whether it is a boy or a girl.
Oh, indeed. You seem very learned in the subject. You surprise me, Vicky. I thought it was something no one knew anything about.
Oh, yes, I'm quite sure of it. I've thought so much about it, you see, lately. So I know.
Oh. Well, if it is all you're doing that it is a girl, let us hope it will be good like its mother. And now, Weibchen, it is time I went. Leitzen told me I was only to be here for a moment.
Leitzen told you?
Yes, and she's quite right. It is doctor's orders. And when doctors order, kings and queens must obey, So now for a little goodbye.
Again. Again.
No, not again. You must not so excite yourself. Goodbye. Oh, Vicky, what a thing to be a father. Das ist wunderbar.
If you want 12, you shall have them, dearest. Oh, I do wish it had been a boy.
But, Victoria, there's so many things, even here at Windsor, that need doing badly.
What sort of things?
Almost everything. We are still in the Middle Ages, almost.
But that's so interesting.
But so wasteful.
Wasteful, why?
I will give you just one instance. The other day, out of curiosity, I asked to be told the scale on which the things for the commissariat are ordered. Daily, weekly, monthly, the meat, the wine, and all the rest of it. I discovered that anything once ordered goes on being ordered. The thing is sent in and paid for, but is not used.
Then where does it go?
You may well ask.
I shall look into it at once and have it altered.
Why not let me do it? At present, it seems there's so little I may do.
But you do a great deal, dearest. Everything that I want you to do.
I wish you wanted me to do a little more. You must let me serve you, not feel myself useless.
Useless?
Sometimes I feel I'm put Oh, not quite in the corner, but on the shelf just a little.
Ah, who does that?
You, my dear.
I? But I worship you, Albert.
Too much. Let me come down to earth a little now and then. Give my hands and brain something to do so that I can respect myself.
Albert!
All day you work for hours with ministers and secretaries, and while they are with you, I may not come in. At the end of it, I see you worn out with doing it all alone, but I may not help you. You do not ask me or tell me anything.
Albert, you do not understand. The English are so jealous. They don't know you as I know you. They still look upon you as a foreigner and are suspicious for fear I should let you advise me.
Am I never to help or advise you? Never? From your life's work, am I to be shut out?
But you do help me so much.
Let me help you now.
How?
Let me see some of these papers you spend so long over. I could read them for you and make a few notes. That would save you time.
Oh, but I must see everything myself. That is what I am here for.
It's impossible. You have to rely upon others. Cannot you rely upon me?
Albert, dearest, you distress me in every way that is possible. I do already rely upon you. And always, in everything that I've had to decide for you, I've done it for your good.
Yes, you even chose my own secretary for me.
Why, of course, Albert. How could you know coming here a stranger who would be the best?
And he reports to you regularly, I believe.
Well, surely you don't mind my knowing.
I would prefer to tell you myself what I do. In future, I mean to.
Yes, of course. I always wish to hear everything.
The other day I made an engagement and you cancelled it.
Yes, Albert, I had a very good reason for doing so. You are going to dine with a foreign minister. My government did not wish that just now any member of the royal family should pay him such a compliment.
You see? I know nothing of your relations with foreign countries. Not only do you not give me your confidence, but you have me watched. Tomorrow, I am going to choose a new secretary for myself.
Albert, you're making a great mistake.
Repairing one. I should have done this before.
You're not to do it, Albert. I say you're not to.
Then for the present, I leave you.
Where are you going?
In here to my own room, to write my letters alone.
Open the door. Albert, open the door.
Who is that speaking?
Her Majesty the Queen.
Her Majesty the Queen must wait. Who is there?
Your wife, Albert. Your poor, unhappy little Weibchen.
Hush. Hush, hush, hush. Don't cry. Don't cry. It's all right.
This cannot go on. Either I am your Majesty's private secretary or I'm not. Yesterday I wrote 5 letters for your Majesty to sign. Today they come back to me unsigned. I'm told the prince has written them for you instead of me.
Not all of them.
3 of them. So what I have done is of no use. And I'm put in the wastebasket.
So, Leighton, you hurt me. How can you think of such a thing?
Baroness, your duties do not require you to undertake more of Her Majesty's correspondence than Her Majesty chooses to entrust to you. In future, it will be arranged that before any letters are passed on for you to answer, Her Majesty and I will look through them together and reserve those we wish to deal with ourselves.
Do I understand that your Majesty approves of that arrangement?
Yes, I think it will be quite a good thing, Leighton. I fear that I often give you more to do than you can easily find time for.
Well, if your Majesty thinks I'm no longer capable...
I think, Baroness, that for the present that will do unless Her Majesty requires you.
No, that is all. You may go, Leighton.
And when, may it please your Majesty, am I to know whether I'm Still to be your...
Baroness.
Oh, Albert, it's so difficult.
Not at all, my dear. That woman must go.
Well, how can she? She's been with me so long.
She was your governess, was she not, when you were a child?
Yes.
You must not have a governess now, my dear. It does not do, and this is what she does not understand.
But, Albert, to send her away seems too cruel. She loves me.
Yes, and because she loves you, she hates me. I do not mind her hating me. She is only one of many, but she must not prevent me from being useful to you. And that is what she would like. Weibchen, do you not love your mother?
Well, Albert, of course I love her.
Yet you see her so seldom and never alone. She's lonely living away from the palace. She loves you still. I go to see her, but you do not. Why not?
Oh, Albert.
Shall I tell you why you do not go?
Why?
Leighton is why. She is jealous of your mother. She's also jealous of me. Is it right, Weibchen, that she should have decided for you how you should treat your own mother?
You think I've been hard, Albert?
A little, but also weak to let anyone else make you be hard to her.
Yes, you're quite right. It's true, it was Leighton.
I was sure.
Then that must settle it, Albert. Yes, she shall go. Poor Leighton. Poor Leighton.
But, Your Grace, it's so difficult. We were riding in the park, and the prince came and rode beside me, just for a moment. My reins had got caught, and he was putting them right for me. And the Queen came and pushed her horse right between us, and she said, Lady Jane, if you can't ride properly, you'd better not come out with us at all. And the prince said, Lady Jane rides very nicely and well. Oh, well, you should have seen the Queen's look then.
Anyone who touches the prince touches a bomb, which goes off.
Oh, but I haven't touched him.
No, but you've looked at him. That's enough.
Oh, but he's there to be looked at. He has such beautiful manners to everyone, hasn't he?
Oh, yes. And I'm very fond of her, too, but she needs managing, and he's the only person who can do it.
Well, he didn't manage her this morning.
He didn't try. You wait. Oh, there's the music coming to an end. We must go back, or she'll be missing us.
It was very beautiful, Mr. Mendelssohn. Thank you. It was your own composition, I believe. We should very much like to hear another piece presently.
I've never heard it before, Your Highness. Now it will be my favorite piece.
You could not choose better, Lady Muriel.
Albert, why are you so cold to me?
It is a cold day, my dear.
You didn't come to me this morning after our ride. I've hardly seen you since, except with others.
That is so.
Lady Charlotte?
A delightful concert, Your Highness.
Thank you, Lady Charlotte.
Albert, have I offended you?
My dear, you must not try to give me riding lessons before others.
What an honor, Your Majesty, to have the great Mr. Mendelssohn.
My dear, court life is difficult. Its difficulties are the larger part of its duties.
But to be suspected, and of nothing, it's humiliating.
My dear, high positions, when they're not the highest, involve humiliations with all of us.
Lady Jane, here is something that you have dropped.
Your Highness, I am sorry. Sorry to have given Your Highness the trouble.
No trouble, pleasure. It is a color that suits you.
Your Majesty must pardon me. That flower is mine.
How dare you speak to me? Go instantly.
I beg your Royal Highness to allow me to explain. I saw just what happened.
Go and tell the prince to come back. I wish to speak to him.
Will Your
At
Majesty?
once! Do as I tell you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. In a moment. But first, I beg Your Majesty to allow me to speak, to explain.
There is nothing to explain.
Oh, but there is. I saw everything.
So did I. I saw the prince give her this flower. Do you mean to deny it?
No, Your Majesty, no. He did not give it to her. She had dropped it.
Dropped it? Yes, I'm sure.
No, ma'am. Quite by accident. It fell out of her hair. The prince only picked it up and returned it to her.
You saw that, you say? You know that for certain?
I assure Your Majesty it was so.
It was all so sudden. So unexpected. One hadn't time to think.
That is so. Your Majesty gave yourself no time to think.
I was too hasty, you mean?
Does Your Majesty wish me to say more than I have said?
I only wish you to tell me the honest truth.
I will, ma'am. At least I will try. But the truth is sometimes difficult.
It should not be.
Not even when it is to a queen, ma'am.
A queen may need it sometimes. Far more than others.
If she knows that, ma'am, she's already on the side of truth.
In my position, I would wish never to be unjust to anyone. Will you ask your cousin, Lady Jane, to come and speak to me?
I'm not sure, ma'am, that she will come now.
Will you say please for me?
If I can say it, ma'am, as you have said it.
Lady Jane, I have sent for you to say I'm sorry. Forgive me. I was quite wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. So sorry to have upset you. You had better go to bed now and rest. And Lady Jane, if you would like, only if you would like, to go away for a little, for a change, pray do so. I'm not asking you to go, but should you at all wish to do so, you have my permission.
I thank Your Majesty for so kindly suggesting it.
Then that shall be arranged. And now, will you tell the prince? I mean, will you ask someone to tell the prince that I wish to see him?
Welcome to my morning. Welcome to my day. I've always chosen nature's way. That's why I love new Post Natural Raisin Bran. It tastes great, and it's natural. Some raisin brands sugarcoat their raisins, not Post. These beauties are naturally sweet. And taste these oven-baked wheat and bran flakes. No preservatives. Post the best raisin bran this country boy's ever tasted. Make the natural choice. New Post Natural Raisin Bran.
Our brick house keeps the wolf out. But to keep out the huffing and puffing of winter,
we use Thompson's Easy Weatherproofers. They're so easy because there's no caulking gun.
Easy Caulker has silicone to last and last.
Thompson's Easy Insulator Foam fills large cracks, expanding 25 times to form a permanent seal.
Come spring, Easy Weather Stripper peels off. So seal your place with Thompson's, whether it's brick,
wood,
or even straw. Thompson's Easy Products, the foolproof weatherproofers.
Only Arid has aloe essence scent.
Tough on wetness and odor.
But, clean and fresh.
Arid Aloe Essence Scent. Solid spray and roll-on.
Get a little closer with Arid Extra Dry.
Even the best cigarette filters let through stains that can end up on your teeth. Pearl Drop Smoker's tooth polish helps remove tobacco stains, like it cleans its enamel, so your teeth can be bright. It's a great feeling. Pearl Drop Smoker's tooth polish helps polish away stains.
If a coffee guarantees you'll like its taste, better be good. And Sanka brand decaffeinated coffee is. Because now, Instant Sanka has a new, fresh brewed taste. And Ground Sanka is deliciously smooth and satisfying, which is why they're both backed by the Sanka Taste Guarantee. So try Sanka. If you don't like the taste, you'll get your money back. See details in your Sunday paper or at your grocer's.
This woman has an irritating rash that's inflamed and itchy. She's using maximum strength Cortisone 5 to go deep below the skin surface. Cortisone 5 gets under the itch for soothing relief and help in healing. Cortisone 5, itch relief and help in healing.
Discover Slim Fast bars to help you lose weight. They're a chewy, chocolatey weight loss meal.
Slim Fast bars are so delicious and satisfying. I wasn't hungry, and I lost weight.
Enjoy chewy, chocolatey Slim Fast bars, the delicious, satisfying way to lose weight.
Soon these streets will be teeming with people, all going after the American dream of success, just like you. Perhaps you should subscribe to the Wall Street Journal before they get here.
Call 800-527-7300 for this new Journal offer. 13 weeks for just $28 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $28. Phone 800-527-7300 now for the Wall Street Journal.
We're CBN, we brighten your day, we light up the night, stay with us, we're CBN.
General Gray, this looks very serious indeed. Is the messenger who brought this still waiting?
Oh, yes, Mom, he is still downstairs.
Wish the prince would come. It is so urgent, and with Lord Palmerston as Prime Minister. One never knows what he may not do next without waiting for our instructions.
Indeed, no, ma'am.
Albert, why did you wait to change? I've been so wanting you.
My uniform was wet through, my dear, and I was feeling very cold.
You're cold still, dearest. Your hand is like ice. Why did you go out in such weather when I begged you not to?
I had to, my dear. What is the matter?
It's about that trouble with America for having taken the Confederate envoys off one of our ships. And most wrong of them it was. This is the dispatch Lord Russell is sending to our ambassador in Washington. He wants it to go tonight. Read it quickly, Albert. I want to know what you think of it. Thank you, General Gray. Now that the prince is here, I shall no longer need you.
This means war.
Yes, I was afraid so. Well, how foolish of them not to give in. They must know they are in the wrong. But everything Lord Russell says is true, is it not?
Oh, quite, but it won't do.
But, Albert, as we are in the right, what else can we do?
Alter a few words. Say it, but say it differently. Often it is just the way a thing is said that decides whether it shall be peace or war. This is Palmerston's doing. He is the man who would like to have war with America. He has worked for it. And this is his opportunity, that we are in the right.
But we could always beat America now, Albert.
Oh, yes. This time we should win. But another time would come and we should not win. That's what these patriots never think of. Again and again, Palmerston has been willing to sacrifice this country to his pride. America has done wrong, and she knows it. We must invite her to reconsider. Call it a mistake, something done by her agents without her instructions. That way she will think and will behave reasonably. But say, I order you, and she will not.
But, Albert, ought we to make it so easy for them as all that?
Yes, because we too would behave unreasonably if we were ordered, and we should call it honor. And for that honor, we should send thousands and thousands to die.
But, Albert, then what are we going to do?
We're going to alter this now. Sit down at once and write to Lord Palmerston. Say that this dispatch is not to go till he has heard from you. This will take me some hours, but do you write your letter at once?
Yes, Albert, yes.
Then try to get some rest.
It's almost morning. Have you not yet finished?
Read it. If you approve, send it.
Yes. Yes, I do approve. Yes, this must go at once. Albert, what is the matter? Are you ill?
No.
Albert.
Take me to bed, Raj. Take me to bed. Ich bin so schwach. Ich glaube, ich habe...
Albert! Albert!
Come in. James? This is the first time anyone has been in this room since his death last year, except me and Her Majesty. She has one key, I have another. Tomorrow, this key will be yours. No one else comes in, so far as I know, unless it's with her.
Who does the dusting?
Well, I don't know. Perhaps she does.
The Queen?
It isn't the Queen comes here. It's the wife. No, not the wife, the widow. A year this very day. Now, you stand by and watch while I show you what you've to do every night. This is the last time I shall be doing it, so be sure you get it right. Now, the coat and vest go here. These, there. Now, you put out a fresh shirt every night and change the links. Her Majesty wished me to stay on, so of course I did, though I was feeling my age even then. I've been with him 21 years, from the beginning to the end.
How did this start? You're having to do it after he was dead.
Well, the night after he was taken bad, the Queen herself sent for me. Richard, she said, why haven't you laid out His Royal Highness's evening dress, as you always do? Well, I thought, Your Majesty, said I. You're not to think, said she. His Royal Highness may recover any moment. You will go on doing it unless you receive His Royal Highness's orders not to. I never did receive them. And neither will you.
My God, it's like being in a grave.
Yes. Go quickly. Her Majesty is coming.
Mr. Richards, before you go, I want to thank you for your services. His Royal Highness, your master, had a great regard for you.
Your Majesty, I loved him.
Yes, I know. So I want to give you something that was his, and that you were accustomed to use in your attendance upon him. I had meant at first to give you these brushes, but I couldn't let them go.
No, Your Majesty.
So here is his case of razors. I've kept one. Please take all the rest. And now you may go. Oh, Albert. Albert! My king! My king! How can I live without you?
The Dean of Windsor, Your Majesty.
Ah, dear Mr. Dean, how good of you to come so soon.
Directly, ma'am, when I receive Your Majesty's command.
There are not many I wish to see now, but you are one of them. You have always been of great comfort to me.
I wish, we all wish, that we could be more comfort to Your Majesty. I won't talk now of time making any difference, but memories will.
That's quite right, Mr. Dean. Do please sit down. I've arranged for us to have tea.
Thank you, ma'am.
I want to consult you on a matter that seems very puzzling to me. It is on a matter of faith.
Oh, I feel truly honored, ma'am.
When I was in Scotland recently, I listened to a sermon from Dr. Donald MacLeod, with most of which I entirely agree. But he said one thing in particular that I have not been able to accept. He has said that as faithful Christians, we are bound to accept without question the story of Jonah and the whale. Mr. Dean, is it really necessary that I should believe that Jonah was swallowed by a whale?
The question is a difficult one, ma'am.
Yes, that is why I ask it.
There are, in fact, two answers to that question.
Two answers? But it must be yes or no.
It is yes and no, ma'am. We can have no doubt, since the story is given a very significant application in the New Testament, that it was actually written under divine inspiration for our guidance and instruction, and an illustrative symbol of the great central truth of our Christian faith. With God, all things are possible. And though there are biological difficulties which the scientists tell us of, still, we must guard against saying that it would be impossible for the Creator to provide a great fish fully capable of swallowing Jonah had it been necessary.
But do you think that he did?
Well, no, ma'am. On the whole, I do not think so.
Neither do I.
But I also think that he could have done so. Which being granted, we are quite free to think that God did not find it actually necessary for Jonah to be swallowed by the whale.
Ah, Mr. Dean, I am so much obliged to you. You have lifted a great weight off my mind. I do not usually discuss these matters with anybody. Religion is sometimes very puzzling, is it not? I always want to know more. About the next world, I mean.
Oh, that is very understandable, ma'am, especially under the shadow of a bereavement such as your own. Life is a great mystery.
But not so great a mystery as death. Life in the next world, when we really get to it, will be very interesting. So much to see and hear and learn.
Yes. And when we wake, we will surely be in the presence of those we love.
But there will be others, too.
Undoubtedly.
Many others of all ages.
Yes. Parents and children, the young and the old together.
I meant of other ages in history.
Ah, yes. Yes, and how interesting to meet the great historical characters.
Yes, the English kings. I wonder how many of them will be there. Some of them were not what they should have been.
Well, still, they will always be the great characters of the Holy Scriptures. Of them, at least, we may be sure they will be there.
Yes, that will be very interesting. Moses and the prophets, and Elijah, and Isaiah, who wrote so beautifully.
Yes, and that great psalmist, David, to meet him.
David, I hope not.
I beg your pardon, Your Majesty?
I said I hope not. I do not wish to meet King David anywhere.
But
he's not the sort of person I could ever wish to know. His conduct about Bathsheba.
Well, one must make allowance for the age in which people live. Moral standards have changed.
He knew he was doing wrong as well as I do.
But he also repented.
I'm not so sure about that.
Your Majesty is a shrewd judge of character.
I've taken up quite enough of your valuable time. Thank you for coming. And I shall go on hoping that it wasn't really a whale.
And so, ma'am, with due reservations, shall I?
For I do think religion ought to be sensible and not too hard to understand.
When you were born, you had no idea how fierce the competition was going to get. All those eager achievers, determined to win the race for success. Being good isn't good enough anymore. To earn and keep your piece of the pie, you need an unfair advantage. A new way to make the most of your special talents and creativity. Hard work and ambition alone aren't enough to keep you moving up. Introducing Amiga, the first personal computer that gives you a creative edge. The computer with better color graphics, more speed and power than any other at its price. The only computer that lets you work on up to 4 things at once and makes every one of them more creative. If you want a better chance of winning the games you play today, you need Amiga, the first personal computer to give you a creative edge.
Shortcuts from General Foods, a series of creative ideas for people with active lifestyles. People like Jeff Baker, systems analyst, whose shortcut is a quick and easy dinner.
You know, when I work late, I want something I can enjoy, that's good for me, and easy to make. So I've come up with a meal that's quick, nutritious, and tastes great. And I can make it in 15 minutes. I'll show you how right after this.
There's nothing like thoroughbreds in a cool Kentucky morning.
Beautiful animals, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's our latest edition, Streak of Lightning.
They'll make a great family portrait for my book.
Want to join us for breakfast?
That's good coffee.
That's Maxwell House.
Seems whenever coffee tastes this good, good to the last drop. It couldn't be anything but Maxwell House.
It couldn't be anything but Maxwell House.
Okay, now I make my shortcut with half a chicken cutlet, frozen mixed vegetables, ready-made Italian salad dressing, and rice. Now, I brown the chicken in 2 tablespoons of the Italian dressing. Then, I add a little less than a cup of the loose frozen vegetable. Add 1/3 cup water, and bring it to a boil. Now, stir in 1/3 cup of the pre-cooked rice, cover, remove it from the heat, and let it stand for 5 minutes. And there it is. Now, for added flavor, I like to add just a sprinkling of grated Parmesan cheese. It's perfect for nights you have to work, or even nights you don't.
This has been another shortcut for good eating for active people from General Foods.
Was Your Majesty wanting anything, or were you ringing only for fun? Is this the kind of a chair you're wanting, ma'am, for your celebrated visitor?
Yes, that's quite a nice one, Brown. I'm sure you remember Lord Beaconsfield being here before.
Aye, I do, ma'am. He was no but Mr. Disraeli then, but I couldn't forget him. I believe he's in the garden now, ma'am, talking to the princess.
What? Before he has seen me, go and take him away from the princess and tell him to come here.
I will, ma'am.
How do you do, Lord Beaconsfield? Good morning, and welcome to Balmoral.
That word from Your Majesty brings all its charms to life. What a prospect of beauty I see around me.
You have had a long, tiring journey, I fear. I hope you slept upon the train.
I lay upon it, ma'am. That is all I can say truly.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But there were compensations, ma'am. In my vigil, I was able to look forward to that which is now before me. The morning is beautiful. This tent light is charming. And the sunlight, so tempered in its reflections, gives to this interior an almost floral delicacy, making these canvas walls like the white petals of an enfolding flower.
Are you writing another of your novels, Lord Beaconsfield? That sounds like composition.
Believe me, ma'am, it was impromptu.
My dear Lord, pray sit down.
I thank you, ma'am. May I be permitted to inquire if Your Majesty's health has benefited?
I'm feeling bonny, as we say in Scotland. Life out of doors suits me. Now to affairs of state. This morning's news is not good, I'm afraid. The Russians are getting nearer to Constantinople.
They will never enter it, ma'am. Russia knows that we shall not allow it.
Do you propose to summon Parliament?
Not Parliament, no, ma'am. Your Majesty's fleet will be sufficient.
If I had my way, my fleet would be in the Baltic tomorrow.
Rest assured, ma'am, England will not be beaten. Eventually, it will be Your Majesty who will dictate the terms, moderate the Russian demands, and place under your protection the Mohammedan world. And with our canal at the Suez, who knows? Egypt, Syria, and Arabia will one day be Your Majesty's destined reward.
My dear Lord Beaconsfield, you are a true knight and a great statesman, and I thank God for your friendly counsel to lean upon. The years have been hard since I have been alone. But we have had a great bond in common, you and I, in our bereavements.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. My dear wife. To her I owe so much. I never read the depth of her devotion until after her death.
Yes, yes, I understand better than others do. Lord Beaconsfield?
Ma'am.
I have been intending for some time, if you as Prime Minister have no objection, to bestow the Order of the Garter on one whom I need say no more. On yourself, I mean.
Your Majesty, there is no greater reward than that which destiny has already given me. But let me come to you again. When I have saved Constantinople, secured the peace of Europe, and can see the glorious vision of your sceptered sway over those realms that we have just mentioned, then should you ask me again if I have any objections, I will own I have none.
Very well. But if you do not remind me, I shall remind you. And now, will you take a glass of wine with me?
Oh, I thank you, Majesty.
Pray help yourself.
I serve you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And, may I propose a toast? The Queen. God bless her. Your pardon, ma'am. To my old hand, there came a sudden excess of youthful enthusiasm, an ardor I could not restrain. And now, ma'am, may I crave your permission to withdraw, for, to speak truly, I do need some rest.
Go and lie down, Lord Beaconsfield.
Thank you, ma'am.
I look forward to seeing you at dinner.
Adieu, ma'am.
Most extraordinary.
Her Majesty, the Queen.
Mamma, dear, how are you?
Very tired, my dear. But oh, so happy.
And now, Mamma, may we drink your good health?
Certainly. Why, yes, certainly, please, all of you. How long did the procession take?
Nearly 3 hours, Mamma.
Dear me. Tell Mr. Chamberlain how very much I approve of all the arrangements he made. Most gratifying.
Your Imperial and Royal Highnesses, I have the pleasure in asking you, on the occasion of her triumphant Diamond Jubilee, to drink to the health of Her Majesty the Queen. May she continue long in health and prosperity to enjoy the love of her children and her people. To the Queen!
Thank you.
Mamma, your people are expecting to see you again. They're cheering and calling for you to come.
Then I must try not to disappoint them. It's very gratifying. Very. To find that after all these years, they do appreciate all that I've tried to do for them. For they are good. And for this great country of ours, we have been so near together today, they and I, all my dear people of England and Scotland and Ireland and all the dear colonies. From all round the world, I've had messages. Such loyalty, such devotion. Most extraordinary. Bertie, take me out. As we were coming back this morning, you were in front, Bertie, so perhaps you didn't see. It was just by Hyde Park Corner. There was a huge crowd there, and a lot of rough men. Of course, it ought not to have happened, but it didn't matter. Broke through the line of police and troops guarding the route, and ran alongside the carriage, shouting and cheering. And I heard them say, "Go it, old girl, you've done it well. You've done it well." Oh, I hope it's true. I hope it's true. Listen. Still cheering. Oh, Albert. If only you had been here.